the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network, as tonight we are here for the Next Gen Old School Racing Series. They tear up the track too tough to tame, none other than Darlington Raceway. Thank you very much for joining me here tonight. My name is KR Stolfus, and I am as excited as the rest of you are to be here tonight to put on this outstanding show that we are getting ready to see. Qualifying, getting ready to kick off. Steve Baker, our fastest driver in practice. We'll see if that is going to transfer over to him being the fastest driver in the session, as everyone's starting to make their way out onto the speedway for their qualifying. Right now, we are watching the 25 of Bruce Pearson, as that worked great. Just wonderful. I love technology. Such a good time. As Bruce is making his way out, that 25 machine slipping and sliding. Darlington, always known as the track too tough to tame, but right now, some of these drivers are attempting to tame her. Bruce Pearson across the line. He is going to set our first time at a 30.601. Brian Miskell Jr. going to the top of the leaderboard with a 30.46. But he is going to be one and done. Mitchell Snare out on the speedway. 43 machine making his way around. So as the 43 comes around, keep your eyes on this 43. He is going to be one to watch. Dustin Ping to the top of the leaderboard in the Stacy's Mom #1 machine. Just like Stacy's mom, he has pounded that end of the wall. So Dustin Ping, one and done. Travis Smith out on the speedway. Travis Smith in the 9 machine, running a paint scheme. If you need a refresher course that is very familiar to all of us who watch dirt late models, Travis Smith right now finding himself in third as the driver on the 55 machine. Steve Baker goes to the top of the leaderboard with a 30.052. 5-minute qualifying session here with a 5-minute drivers meeting coming up right after this. Eric Blount in the 6 Valvoline machine. making his way around the speedway. The first NASCAR Super Speedway. Some of these guys really doing some throwback paint schemes here at Darlington. This Mark Martin Valvoline 6 machine really stands out. Our lone Canadian out here tonight. Derek, we thank you each and every week for making the trek all the way down from Canada to race with us here in the US of A. Derek Robinson in 11th spot right now. That is the slowest time in qualifying, but of the drivers who have taken a lap time, he's the slowest. But here comes Damon Cox, aka Mud, that 57 machine. Maybe he has mud between the ears. We'll see. We'll find out. Damon, don't fire me. How you doing tonight, Damon? The jokes are flowing here tonight. So the 57 of Damon Cox out on this Darlington Raceway. He is going to go across the start-finish line, and Damon Cox now takes over the slowest qualifying time as he's going to get into the wall. That is going to invalidate his second lap. So Damon Cox stuck in 12th place. As the timer runs down for this qualifying session, we are at 5 minutes. Everyone ordered off the track. Steve Baker going to be the driver who takes pole position here tonight. And so, guys, with that being said, while these drivers go through their driver meeting, we are going to step away. But before we do, I want to give a shout out to Dave Freeman chiming in on YouTube chat, man. Thank you very much for joining us on chat. We wish you were out on the speedway by the track. It's like $10 or $11. Dave, if you're still here, hit me up. See if I can't maybe give you a gift of $11, and we'll charge it to Troy Radford. So, guys, we're going to step away for the national anthem. No one go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to fire these drivers off. Qualifying has come to an end, and we are going to start putting these drivers onto the grid. But before we do, let's take a moment and thank everybody out there watching and helping make this fun for me. I hope you all stick around. Liven up chat a little bit for me. Keep me interested in what's going on. Let's take a quick look at our race info here tonight. This is the Next Gen Racing Series, Old School Series at Darlington. The Bundle of Joy Fund here tonight. Tim Lee was the driver who we were supposed to interview here tonight, but Tim Lee actually came in, turned some practice laps, and said, no, I can't tame Darlington. I'm going to step away. I've shed some tears. He's stepped away, and I am making all of this up as I go along. Our Darlington breakdown here for tonight. Tires are very piggly wiggly. 48 laps on fuel. What we will see is these drivers try and hit pit road probably about 2 seconds after fall off. We'll talk more about that later. No fast repairs, so you have got to keep it clean and beware of lap traffic here tonight. Now, let's get right into our starting lineup for this one. On row number 1, the 55 of Steve Baker, laying it down, getting that fast lap in at a 30.037. Dustin Ping on his outside in the Stacy's Mom, number 1. The 52 of Dustin German on the inside of row number 2. Then it's Travis Smith right behind them. Mitchell Snare, Brian Littleton, row number 3. Row number 4 will be the 6 of Eric Blount. And then we have Brian, the Missile Miskell, in the 33. Row 5, Thomas Light, Bruce Pearson. Then it's Derek Robinson all the way from Canada. And Damon Cox on his outside. And got some more drivers. Roy Redford, we won't talk about him. Dylan Blankenship on the outside of row number 7. Gordon Larson in the 01. Chris Mefford in the 44. Ryan Beach in the 18 machine, starting in 17th. Missed it by that much. Justin Walters in the 88, starting on the outside of row number 9. Row number 10, Doug Bisaki, Gary Ragland, Tim Woodson, and Melvin Young going to make up our 22-car starting field here tonight. So, we get ready to rock and roll here at Darlington. The pace truck out of the way. Steve Baker in the 55, bringing everyone down to the green flag, and here we go. Racing underway for the Southern 113, presented by the Bundle of Joy Fund, and Steve Baker goes into turn 1 unchallenged, but Stacy's Mom is right on his butt. Travis Smith slotting into 3rd. Dustin German holding on to 4th. 2-car breakaway at the front of the field, then 2 cars for 3rd and 4th. Got some draft pairs going here, and here comes Dustin Ping in the 1 machine, taking a peek to the inside, but Steve Baker going to lead the first lap of tonight's race. As the top 4 got a clean break from everyone else. Brian Littleton, a little bit of a gap, holding on to 5th place right here. Travis Smith closing in very quickly on the bumper of Dustin Ping. Ping taking a peek to the inside of the 55. So the top 4 have bunched up very quickly. Great racing all throughout already in this field. A lot of drivers are single file, but everyone just trying to find some room to run and then make some noise. Derek Robinson taking a peek to the inside of Damon Cox. Cox going to take the position, though. And already we got Larson sideways in that Jeff Gordon paint scheme. He rolls his way back onto the track, getting back up to speed. While that was happening, Dustin Ping taking over the top spot. That blue and yellow number 1 machine, your new race leader. So Dustin Ping has gotten pulled away from Steve Baker here. Coming into tonight's race, we didn't have a chance to talk about the points as things are moving a little bit fast for me, but that's all right. Mitchell Snare coming in as your points leader, and right now Mitchell finding himself in 7th spot. Chris Mefford entered into tonight's race just 2 points behind Mitchell Snare. Mefford buried deep in the field. Right now he is in 15th spot. If we take a moment and we'll zoom in on the 44 machine, Mefford all over the back bumper of the 25 of Bruce Pearson. And then Eric Blount in the 6, who is right now in a comfortable spot, already finding a little bit of position here where no one's around him. The 6 of Eric Blount entered into tonight's race 3rd in the point standings, just 3 points behind the points leader. Our top 3 are all separated by 1 point. Ryan Snare, Chris Mefford, Eric Blount. Holy cow. Talk about how close this points battle is with just 6 races left in the regular season, or in the season period, because there's no chase, no playoffs, no nothing. This old school series, however many points you get is what it is. So Dustin Ping, still your race leader. He has got that car wound up and he is looking solid here tonight as we go on board with Stacy's mom. Looking out the back of Dustin Ping, you can see that gap back to the 55 of Steve Baker. Baker, a very talented driver, also a very patient driver. Only 4 tire sets available to each one of our drivers out here tonight. And what that means, especially when we have a 48 lap fuel run, give or take a few laps around there. Some drivers may try and pit sooner. Others might try and stretch it, conserve a little bit. But what that means with 4 tires is everyone's really got to pay attention to it. Nothing's going to come easy. Steve Baker just set his fastest lap of the race so far. Not necessarily the fastest lap in the race, but the fastest lap of his race. So Steve Baker, as I mentioned, a patient driver, really coming in to this rhythm. Laid down a good lap. Gary Ragland in the 61, a little loose coming off the corner there. That Coca-Cola 61 machine had to lift big time. He's going to drift up in front of Dustin Ping. Ping going to have a little bit of internet issue there, but both drivers now, Ping and Baker, get down below the 61 machine. So lap traffic starting to be a factor here. So Dustin Ping holds on to the lead, but Steve Baker had a moment where he could apply some pressure. but Ping did not give up the race lead. Dustin German in the 52 machine right on the back bumper of Baker. Two teammates here from Smoke Show Racing going at it. Steve Baker, Dustin German, both drivers for SSR. And Baker making a move to the inside. And Steve Baker gonna take the race lead. Dustin Ping falls to second, and he could be in the clutches of Dustin German in the 52. German going to the outside. Ping very slow here, as he is going to allow Travis Smith by as well. But Steve Baker back to the point, your pole sitter, after riding around in second spot for several laps, now takes over the race lead once again. Finds himself out in front of this field. They are closing in on another lap car. Baker a bit of a wiggle as we go on board. Looking out the front of this one. Melvin Young has gone a lap down. In fact, Melvin Young has been passed by Gary Ragland. Gary, now the first car 1 lap down. Doug Wysocki, the next victim for Steve Baker to swallow up. Wysocki taking a peek to the inside of the 40 machine of Tim Woodson. These two are battling it out right now for position. Woodson in 19th, Doug Wysocki in 20th. And how this battle shapes up as the leaders come around. Here comes Steve Baker closing in very quickly. Both of them gonna pull to the inside, but the 40 machine stays high. Steve Baker splits the difference, and that is going to give him a big break, as the 52 of Dustin German was not able to make the same move that Baker did. Now German gonna take a peek to the inside of Tim Woodson. Everyone else gonna try and squeeze on by. Travis Smith to the inside. Here comes the one of Dustin Ping. He's going to get around. Woodson hard into the wall. Brian Littleton gets very sideways coming off the corner. Everyone, a lot of confusion off of turn number 2. Eric Blount trying to be very careful. Eric Blount able to get around. Now Mitchell Snare going to take a peek here as that 55 machine trying to set sail on the field. We are working lap 20 of 113. Let's take a quick peek at one of the incidents that we have had here at Darlington. The 10 machine of Melvin Young coming off at turn number 2, gonna smack the inside wall. Brings it to a stop, but gets rolling. Grabs the gear and gets going, and that is what happened to Melvin Young. Take another peek here. The 94 Troy Radford got hard into the wall. That allows the 44 of Chris Mefford to squeeze on by. Two teammates going at it there for position. The Mefford taking over 9th spot. And Steve Baker continues to lead this race. Dustin German giving chase in the 52. Dustin Ping sitting in 3rd spot. Travis Smith 4th, and rounding out your top 5, that is the 6 of Eric Blount. As Baker puts Melvin Young another lap down. Dustin German giving Steve Baker a little bit of pressure here. Not a whole lot, but the 52 of German really got a good run here. Trying to work over the back bumper of the 55. Teammates going at it here for the race lead. German has pulled away from Ping about a 1.7 second gap. This 52 machine, we have seen him put on a show time and time again. He rides around and waits for the right time to strike. We have yet to see a repeat winner here on this Next Gen Old School Racing Series here on a Wednesday night. Troy Radford picked up the first race of the season. Chris Mefford winning race number 2. And my notes are blank for the third race of the season. That's cool. Appreciate that. Steve Baker has picked up race number 4, and Dustin German won race number 5. So now that my notes are blank, is Dustin German. Looked like he got a little bit sideways there coming off the corner. Able to hold on to it. So I'm going to have to do some digging. I don't know who won the Pocono race. That one's interesting. I'm going to have to work on that one. All right, so that aside, we'll figure out what's going on here. Steve Baker continues to lead in the 55, and the first caution of the night coming out. I'm not really sure what has happened. We're going to take a peek here. Gary Ragland in the 61, down to the inside. Looks like Derek Robinson may be getting into a little bit of trouble here. That is the 40 machine. Tim Woodson and Derek Robinson getting together. So that is going to bring out the first caution of the night. Gary Ragland going straight to pit lane on that one. Steve Baker leading our drivers on the pit road. Everyone coming down to be serviced by their crew. We're going to step away for a quick minute. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit late on the button pressing there, but Steve Baker entered pit road first. He retains the lead. Dustin German going to hold on to second. Dustin Ping, Travis Smith going to restart road number 2 here. Everyone has been on and off a pit road. Here we go. The Chevy Silverado down and away. We get ready to let these boys loose once again for the Southern 110 right here at Darlington. The Bundle of Joy Fund being well represented as the 55 machine goes off into turn number 1, holding on to the race lead. Dustin German giving chase. Now, Steve Baker had a very fast car on the short run, very fast car on the long run. The only person that was faster than Steve Baker was the one of Dustin Ping on that short run. Here he comes in that blue and yellow machine, trying to track down the 52 of Dustin German. Melvin Young in the 10 machine, down to the inside, very slow down the back stretch. The problems continue for Young and Travis Smith. Hard into the wall there. That is a big Darlington stripe for the 9 machine. He is going to go from 4th to 12th. Just like that, the 05 of Dylan Blankenship going to squeeze right in front of him. So with everyone racing so hard, with me doing this, Dustin Ping out of shape. We got another car out of shape. Ping holding on to it. Brian Miskell got sideways. Both drivers getting bent up at the same time, and both of them holding on to it. If we can take another look at this one, trying to back it up to see what happened here. The 33, all sorts of out of shape, along with the 1, but everything gets sorted out and we stay green. So the 55 of Steve Baker continues to be your race leader. Dustin German in the 52, still hounding him for that race lead, but holding on to second spot for the moment. Brian Littleton has moved into 3rd, and Chris Mefford in the 44. Right now, he is our biggest mover of the race. He finds himself in 6th spot. Brian Beach in the 18, working his way to the inside of the 6. They almost got together. The 94 of Troy Radford, watching that go down, reacted to it, got into the wall a little bit, and that has slowed him down. Troy Radford right now finding himself in 10th spot. But the driver who has led the most laps so far, that is the 55 of Steve Baker. Brian Littleton closed in on the 55 and the 52. Brian Littleton now making a move to the inside. That 80 machine with a very strong run now puts himself in the second spot. We look out the back of the 52. I'm sorry, the 80 at the 52. Brian Littleton now sitting in second place. So as Brian Littleton in the 80 machine tries to close in on the 55 of Steve Baker. Baker set fast time here tonight. Continues to lead as we are closing in on the halfway point. Chris Mefford has cracked the top 5. He has moved into 5th place. The 44 machine looking very, very fast here tonight. Brian Beach in the 18 machine has been following that 44. Both drivers started one position apart from each other. They have both gained 11 spots on the night, the 44 and the 18. And so Brian Beach continuing to follow Chris Mefford here. They are both steadily working their way forward. At 6 of Eric Blount, finding himself in 7th spot. Travis Smith, after his issues, sitting in 9th place. Blankenship up 5 spots. He is currently in 9th. And then Troy Radford holding on to 10th in that 94 machine. As we got big trouble, the 61 down on the inside, but man, he is off the racing surface. The 61 machine up in smoke. Let's see what happened to Gary Ragland. He is making his way through the corner. Gary gonna get loose coming off the corner, smacks that inside wall very hard, but you can see he is down below that dashed line. And that is going to allow us to stay green. So with that being said, Steve Baker continues to lead. The 52 of Dustin German has gotten by Brian Littleton. Let's take a peek at that one. He makes the move down to the inside. Littleton off the gas early and allows the 52 to take over this second spot. So Steve Baker in the 55 continuing to lead as we're creeping up on lap 50. Right now we're working lap 48 of 113 for the Southern. Ooh, Mitchell snare. Big save by the 43. He is able to hold on to it. He is going to lose 2 spots in the process. Chris Mefford, Brian Littleton, both able to get by. And so now Chris Mefford moves up to 4th. Brian Beach holding on to 5th. I was just having a conversation with a good buddy of mine about the type of people we see drinking Michelob. It's really weird because here's Brian Littleton. He's got Michelob Ultra on this 80 machine on the hood of his race cars. 44 Chris Mefford gonna try and move into third spot, gets the pass done, and now sits in third. But Brian Littleton, Michelob Ultra. If I can recall, we were talking about how it seems that only really old guys like Michelob Ultra. But I gotta tell you, Brian Littleton, not driving like an old guy right now. Mitchell Snare, far from being an old guy, that 43 machine. Holding on to 5th spot, closing in on the 80 of Brian Littleton. Meanwhile, Steve Baker in the 55 really starting to be put under pressure by the 52. And Chris Mefford in this 44. What an impressive run he is having. He has gained 13 positions here. And it does not look like this 44 machine is going to slow down anytime soon. So the top three have broken away almost a second at 0.9 seconds here from the 44 back to Brian Littleton in the 80. 3-car battle for the race lead. And I got to tell you, the 52 and the 55, they better be paying attention to what the 44 Chris Mefford is doing, because that man has worked his way forward. And he seems to be the fastest car out there lap after lap. Mitchell Snare does not, I'm sorry, that is Eric Blount with a 30.26 for the fastest lap. And as I say that, the 6 of Eric Blount gonna smack the wall. He's gonna get out of shape. Dustin Ping, a very good move to avoid him. The 05 of Dylan Blankenship, however, not able to pull it off. And Blankenship, tough ride there. Take a look on the nose of the 05 machine of Dylan Blankenship. A lot of smoke in front of the 05, and he is going to get into the 6 of Eric Blount and kill our camera. Take one more look at this one. So a tough break for several of our drivers here, including Dylan Blankenship and Eric Blount. Justin Walters, driver we haven't talked about here, the 88 machine, not coming down pit road as pit lane has opened up. Walters staying out, gonna lead a lap. Steve Baker winning the race off of pit road. Then it's Brian Littleton, Chris Mefford, Dustin German, Mitchell Snare, and Brian Beach. And here comes the 88. He is out there to lead a lap. And now he pulls himself onto pit road. That will give the race lead to the 55 of Steve Baker. As we are at the halfway point here. We are working our second caution of the night. While we have this moment, let's see here. I want to talk to, if we can't talk to somebody. Gotta be someone to talk to. Brian Littleton, this KR up in the broadcast booth. You got your ears on, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Brian, how you doing out there tonight?
Hanging on, man, hanging on.
Well, man, we find you sitting in a second spot here tonight after pit stops and everything. Tell us a little bit about what this race is like here for you.
Well, it's like driving a brick. There's no front grip, and just when you think you've got that corner figured out, it'll reach out and bite you. That change they did on that rear spoiler didn't give you a whole lot of rear grip either, so it's definitely a handful. A lot of fun, but a handful for sure.
All right, Brian. So me and a buddy of mine were talking about Michelob Ultra, and this discussion came up about how you only see old people driving or drinking it. So the Michelob Ultra sponsorship, is that because that's what you like to drink?
Yes, sir.
And how old are you?
In my 40s.
In your 40s? I don't know if that qualifies as old, but man, oh man, I'll tell you what, Brian, outside this front row, we're going to let you go and get back to it. What's your team?
Dirty Air.
Dirty Air. All right, man, good luck.
Yeah, man, thanks.
So here we go, Brian Littleton on the outside for this restart. Steve Baker in the 55 on the throttle. Littleton moving in the second spot here. Chris Mefford in the 44 sitting in third. He's going to settle in there, but keep your eyes on that 44 machine. Baker, though, the driver that everyone is chasing, has been chasing. Steve Baker really got this figured out. Here comes Brian Littleton. Can he make something happen here on this narrow racing line at Darlington? Littleton taking a peek to the inside. Baker holding on to it for the moment. So as the 80 machine tries to poke a hole in the armor of this 55's race lead, Baker able to hold him off. Steve Baker, one of those drivers. I mentioned he's patient. I mentioned all this stuff about him. One of the things you'll see is it takes a lot of effort to get Steve Baker off of his race line. That 55 machine really doing a good job here tonight at Darlington, but Brian Littleton really out for a win here. He's going to try and work over this 55 machine, and you poke and prod long enough, you will find a chink in the armor, and here comes the 80. He's got to move down to the inside. Going into turn number one, Brian Littleton's going to make it stick, and he moves into the race lead. So a new leader in Brian Littleton. A good, solid move there. Now Dustin Ping maybe trying to take advantage of the fact that the 55 has a weakness. But what's the old saying? Don't tug on Superman's cape. Here comes Baker once again to try and take the lead back away from Brian Littleton. But I'll tell you what, Brian Littleton very hungry for his first win of the year, and he is going to put a gap on the 55 through turns 3 and 4. And this could be goodbye. See you later, sayonara. Until the next time we hit pit road, as Baker hard into the wall. And Brian Littleton pulling away. Chris Mefford sliding into third with Dustin German falling to fourth. Mitchell Snare maybe trying to take advantage of what's going on around our top 5. And Mefford slides into second place. So Brian Littleton, your race leader. Chris Mefford now in second spot. Steve Baker sitting in third. Dustin German holding on to fourth, and rounding out your top 5, that is Mitchell Snare in the 43 machine. Brian Beach in 6th. 7th goes to Travis Smith right now. Troy Radford holding on to 8th place in that 94 machine. And then Brian the Miskell Jr. in the 33. We saw him have an issue earlier tonight. That 33 really throwing it into the corner. Finds himself in 9th spot. The 98 of Thomas Light. We haven't talked a whole lot about that red 98 machine here tonight. But right now he is holding on to a top 10 position. He has about a 2-second lead, or gap I should say, over Gordon Larson in that 01 machine. As we take a peek at Gordon Larson. Larson sitting in 11th spot. Doug Wysocki, at one point, this 34 machine was 1 lap down. Here he is back on the lead lap. And in fact, he is in front of Stacy's mom, Dustin Ping, in the 1 machine, sitting in 13th spot. Ping, one of the drivers who started this race up front. In fact, he led a lap. Actually, he led more than a lap, but he has led some laps. And the one of Dustin Ping finding himself in 13th spot. So quite the change for the 1 machine. Damon Cox sitting in 14th spot in that 57 machine. Justin Walters in the 88, who we saw stay out to lead a lap. And the pass for the race lead, as we were trying to go through the field, the 55 of Steve Baker back to the point as he made the move to the inside. So Baker back to the race lead. Picking up where we left off on the through the field, Justin Walters, who stayed out to lead a lap under our most recent caution, finds himself in 14th spot. Bruce Pearson in 15th, and Travis Smith has just pulled on to pit road in that 9 machine. Derek Robinson in 17th. 18th goes to Tim Woodson for the moment. Melvin Young 19th. Eric Blount, who had big contact with Dylan Blankenship, both drivers on pit road since that crash happened. Extensive damage to the 6 and the 05. And we saw Gary Ragland go up in smoke in the 61 as well. We have 3 cars out of this race right now. Make that 4 cars as Tim Woodson is sitting on pit road. So as we try to get through the field, a lot has been going on. The 44 of Chris Medford to the race lead. The 44 machine has gained 15 positions, and it's taken 74 laps to get to the top spot. Dave Freeman even calling it out in YouTube chat, saying, watch that 44. He is the one to beat tonight. And Chris Medford, your race leader. Steve Baker in second spot. Justin Derman holding on to third. Brian Beach now in fourth. And Brian Littleton rounds out your top five. But Medford, solid performance so far by this 44 machine. But Steve Baker, I'll tell you what, that 55, he has really been impressive here tonight at Darlington. I think the only driver who could beat the 55 is this 44. And I want to tell everyone watching here, these guys about ready to go at it. We still got quite a few laps, but man, I'll tell you what, if it comes down to it, and I had to pick one of these two, either Chris Medford or Steve Baker, here at Darlington, I'm going to tell you, I ain't picking. It's coming down between these two here tonight. As long as their four tires are on the track, when that checkered flag falls, it's coming to one of these two guys. Now, as soon as I say that, something really stupid is going to happen. Like, I shouldn't say stupid. I should say something like the racing gods are just not going to allow the broadcaster to talk good about these two drivers and make him look smart and intelligent. But what's going to happen here is these two are going to go at it until they can't no more. So Medford in the race lead now for the first time. And in fact, he is trying to pull away from the 55 of Baker. Dustin German still holding on to third now. Brian Beach fourth. Brian Littleton fifth. As our field gets strung out just a little bit, we do have 14 cars on the lead lap. Travis Smith, who came down pit road, first car one lap down. He has already made his pit stop. I guess that would be his final pit stop of the night. We will keep an eye on him. He might be able to pull one off with strategy here. I don't think anyone other than Travis Smith and let's say Thomas Light, they are the only two drivers who have been on pit lane. Right now, they are the only two who can make it to the end of this race with the information I was given. I was told about 48 laps on a fuel run. The drivers, Chris Medford, Steve Baker, last on pit road on lap 55. Medford works to the inside of the lone Canadian, Derek Robinson. Robinson pulls down in the inside lane. Baker easily gets by on the outside. So strategy coming in here. Oh, all right. All right, let's get our crew chief hats on. Last on pit road, lap 55. Got about 3 laps, so let's say 50, 58. 58 and 60, carry the 2. I don't know why I'm trying to do math, so let's make it quick math. And yeah, no one can make it from here. Oh boy, let me tell you. Brian Littleton in 5th spot under heavy pressure from the 6 of Troy Radford and the 43 of Mitchell Snare. And Mitchell taking a peek to the inside on the 94. Maybe going to have a good run down the back stretch here, or the front stretch, I should say. Radford holds him off. That does give Brian Littleton a big gap back to the 94. Brian Beach still in 4th spot. Beach up 13 positions here tonight. So solid effort by the 18 machine to work his way forward. And now Brian Littleton in the 80 machine. Closing in on the back bumper. Maybe going to try and take the position. Oh, it's Brian Beach into the wall. Off of the corner. Turn number 2, claiming a hard impact for the 18 machine. And Brian Beach going to pull onto pit road. Tough break for the 18 as he has put together a solid effort here tonight. But all is not lost. He is on pit road. Gordon Larson also hitting pit lane, but Brian Beach could put on some fresh tires here and maybe regain some lost ground. As long as he doesn't try to repair damage, as long as the damage he smacked with that wall isn't too much. So a lot up in the air. We'll see when Brian Beach comes out. He is spending a long time on pit road. 4 tire stop for Brian Beach, plus some, so it's not looking too good for the 18 machine. Hopefully, I was hoping he'd be able to repair that, get back out there, but the longer he sits there, the worse it looks for the 18 machine. Chris Mefford in the 44. He's going to lead another lap. Steve Baker trying to give chase. Baker has reeled him in just a little bit. As Mefford crosses the line, we have 25 laps to go in this one. Eric Blount, Dylan Blankenship, only 2 drivers out of this race. I should say 3, along with Gary Ragland. And now it looks like maybe Brian Beach going to join them. No, Brian Beach pulling off a pit lane. So the 18 machine going to rejoin the race. After a very solid night for the 18. Hard impact here at Darlington. Going to set him back a little bit. He's a few laps down, but he has got back out there. Chris Mefford and Steve Baker, these 2 drivers have managed to pull away from Dustin German by 2 seconds. German in that 52 machine, holding on to 3rd spot. He finds himself in a nice little place where no one is around him. He's got a 2-second gap to Steve Baker and a 2-second gap back to Brian Littleton. So he is riding around right in the middle here. No pressure on the 52. He might be able to come away with a solid podium finish. Meanwhile, the 43, Mitchell Snare, he's not happy with where he's at in 5th spot. He wants to try and take away 4th place from Brian Littleton. He is closing in on him. Meanwhile, Troy Radford also closing in. Now keep in mind our point standings are extremely close. Mitchell Snare finds himself coming into tonight's race as the points leader. Right now he is running in 5th place, but Chris Bedford was only 2 points behind him as the 43 hard on the binders. He's going to pull on the pit road along with Troy Radford, and these are our first 2 drivers from the race lead to hit pit lane. I shouldn't say the race lead, maybe our race leaders would be the proper term. But Chris Mefford has not hit pit road. One thing you need to know about Chris Mefford, he can stretch a fuel tank for sure, but I don't know if he wants to stretch a fuel tank here in this situation. Steve Baker gonna hit pit lane, and Mefford out all by himself. Steve Baker gonna do everything he can to take advantage of a first opportunity on the pit road. So with green flag pit stops underway, here comes the 44. 1 lap later, he's going to hit pit lane. Brian Littleton and Dustin German stay out. Brian Littleton going to lead that lap there as the 52 of German tries to give chase. So here we go. Now it's getting very interesting. Who is going to be able to do what? Drivers who have pitted. Travis Smith, one of our first drivers to come down pit road. He came down pit road on lap 70. It's Chris Mefford making his way out from his pit stall. The 44 machine pitted from the race lead. Steve Baker heading into turn number 1. This could be very close, as if this cycles through, Baker and Mefford gonna rejoin on that back stretch. Baker making a move to the inside. This could be for the race lead. And Steve Baker gonna pull it off, but the 44 not done just yet. Travis Smith, however, who hit pit lane before both of these drivers, could cycle through as the race leader. But that 9 has been out there for several laps. The 55 on very fresh tires. And he is gonna make quick work of Travis Smith. So Baker in 6th place, but ahead of the 44 of Mefford. Mefford makes the pass on Smith as well. Brian Littleton in the 80 machine staying out along with the 52 of Dustin German. We have 15 laps to go. Brian Littleton working his way around the 6 of Eric Blount. Blount able to get back out there. With Eric Blount rejoining the race, that just leaves Dylan Blankenship and Gary Ragland as the only 2 drivers out of this race who took the green flag. Tim Lee in the 22 machine. We poked a little fun at him at the beginning, but wasn't able to get enough practice in and had to use a provisional. So his name is scrolling across the ticker, but he did not start this one, as Brian Littleton got into the wall a little bit there. but able to continue on. And you got to wonder, is Brian waiting for a caution here? Or does he think he has enough fuel to make it to the end? He still has Steve Baker, Chris Mefford, and Travis Smith all trapped one lap down. Dustin German in the 52, 2.3 seconds behind him. Oh my goodness. What is up the sleeve of the 80 and the 52? All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Because of the strategy of the 80 and the 52, we're cracking a cold one for their boldness. Can something happen here that keeps this 80 out in front? Dustin German really hanging back here. Makes me think that he is trying to save fuel. The way that Brian Littleton is running, Brian Littleton's fastest lap of the race at a 30.53. Last time around, he turned a 32.25. I don't know about you guys, but I really don't know what to expect here. The one machine of Dustin Ping gonna try and get one of his laps back. He is 2 laps down. Dustin Ping last on pit road on lap 86. Ping would have enough fuel to make it to the end. And here comes Brian Littleton in the 80. So he is going to have to hit pit road with 8 laps to go in this race. And it looks like maybe Dustin German now going to take over the mantle of trying to stretch this one. So Brian Littleton out of fuel, hits pit road. Dustin German assumes the race lead in the 52 for the first time here tonight. Ryan Miskell moves into second spot. Justin Walters into third. So can the 52 stretch his fuel? And that would be a very, very big stretch for the 52 machine. But Steve Baker in the 55, he is the one we are watching. He's the one that has enough fuel to make it to the end as Damon Cox hits pit lane. And Baker finds himself about 24 seconds off the race lead. He is able to chug along at full tilt. So can Dustin German stretch this to the end? Oh my goodness, I hope you all are watching this like I am, because this is insane. Brian Littleton, who had to hit pit lane, is trying to unlap himself. Holding on to 9th spot, back on the lead lap for the 80 machine. As Dustin German continues to lead. He now has a 22-second lead over Steve Baker. Justin Walters has just hit pit road from 3rd spot, so his fuel tank has run dry. Steve Baker moves into 3rd, 21.4 seconds behind the race lead and closing quickly. Dustin German backing this down a lot. Now 3 laps to go for the 52 machine, the 33 of Brian Miskell Jr. He's holding on to 2nd spot. He is really brought his race car to a crawl. Steve Baker as the 33 down on the inside line. Here comes the 55 of Baker up along the wall. He is going to make the pass here, and the 55 moves in the second spot. And it sounds like Brian Miskell may be out of fuel as he is very slow down the straightaway. But 2 laps to go for the 52 of Dustin German. Steve Baker 17 seconds behind him. Dustin German might be able to pull this one off if he has enough fuel to make it around just maybe a lap more at that point. Oh, it's going to be so close as the white flag comes out for the 52 of Dustin German. Steve Baker now 16 seconds away from the race lead. German onto the backstretch. Into turns 3 and 4 with a 16-second lead. Dustin German off of turn number 4 might become our first repeat winner of the season, and Dustin German gonna get it done here tonight at Darlington in the Southern 113 presented by the Bundle of Joy Fund. How about that finish? Dustin German able to stretch his fuel beyond what anyone thought was possible. Comes away with the race win. Steve Baker going to end up in second. Chris Mefford holding on to the final step of the podium. As the 52 pulls back on to the front stretch, we'll see if he has anything left for a burnout, and it does not appear so. But what a finish by Dustin German. And let's get right into it. Dustin German, you got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir.
Man, oh man, you pick up the race win here tonight. Congratulations on that one. Tell us how close that was on fuel for you.
I ran out coming across the line there for the checker.
Man,
Yeah,
I'll tell
really
you,
close.
that is insane how close that one was. Congratulations on the race win, man. Talk us through the strategy that came out to put you into the position to think about making that run to the end.
Well, I knew we were going to be close. We were probably going to be about 6 laps short. So when all those guys started pitting there, that's when I thought about it. I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and just save. And I started clutching it like the start-finish line and halfway down the back straightaway and just letting it roll into the turn. I seen Brian, he had kind of the same strategy, but I guess he didn't save enough. But once he pitted, I just went in full save mode. I was letting it roll everywhere I could.
Well, man, that 52 did an outstanding job, and a lot of times it's not about how fast your car is. It's always about how fast you get to that start-finish line, and you're the first one to cross that start-finish line here tonight, man. Congratulations. A solid effort, a solid strategy. I thoroughly impressed that 52 machine. Dustin German, the first repeat winner of the season.
Yeah, man, to do it back-to-back, too, that's even better. I want to thank you, KR, and Turn 3 Racing Network, and all these guys over here at the Next Gen Old School Series, and my sponsor, my team, SRTV, SSR Racing, Steve, him and Chris Mefford probably had a better car, but looks like we had a better strategy.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, absolutely strategy playing the part in this one, but can't ever keep that 52 car down. Congratulations on the race win, man. Nice job out there tonight.
Thanks, KR.
So Dustin German coming away with the race win. But now let's move on to our second place driver and that is none other than Steve Baker. Steve, congratulations on second place out there tonight.
Hey, thanks, KR.
Well, man, that 55 machine looked like the car to beat. One of the fastest cars all night long, sat on pole here tonight. But your teammate looks like he pulled the wool over your eyes just a little bit.
Yeah, I felt like I was far too short to save that distance, but hats off to him, man. He made it work, and we just picked the wrong strategy tonight.
Well, Steve, that being aside, a solid race effort here tonight. This 55 machine leading a ton of laps here at Darlington in these 87 Cup cars. Talk us through what this race was like for you here tonight.
It was a handful. Car was pretty all over the place, but really hats off to everybody that was up there racing. I think everybody was pretty respectful tonight, just with how the track was and how the car was. Felt good to lead a bunch of laps. And yeah, first to finish from the cars that pitted, but not good enough.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, sometimes you just can't win them all. We all know that in racing, but Steve, a solid effort by you to put it in second place here tonight. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, just shout out to this group of guys racing, Turn 3 for the broadcasts, admins that put the show on. It's a lot of work to do this and the other series and leagues these guys do, so always appreciate that and having a place to race.
All right, man. Well, job well done here tonight. Solid second place finish. Once again, congratulations.
Yeah.
That was Steve Baker, our driver, who finished in second spot. Now, let's move on to the man who finished in third, and that is none other than the 44, Chris Mefford. Chris Mefford, you got your ears on, bud?
I haven't lost them yet.
Haven't lost them yet. Well, thank goodness for that. But Chris Mefford, this 44 machine comes home in third place here tonight. Talk us through your race as you saw it unfold.
Yeah, before I even start talking about racing, I just want to give a shout out to KD and throw prayers out his way. I know his grandma passed away, Miss Haney. I know she has always watched all the broadcasts and everything. And from what I've heard, she's a very good lady, very sweet lady, and she made good friends with Mitchell. But back to the race wasn't too bad. Car was just crazy loose, and then I finally started to find a groove. I mean, that worked for me and got me out to the front.
Well, the biggest mover of the race going to you in that 44 machine, and we watched you go all the way up to the race lead. But it looked like strategy on pit road maybe set you back a little bit, but Dustin German maybe had the better strategy of everyone. But that aside, Chris, an outstanding run here at Darlington. How hard is it to go 13 positions at this track?
These cars, it's tough. Any other cars, it's not too bad. These are just too loose. I know me and Steve got into it after the last green flag pit stop. I think we both knew, whoever got in front was going to either win or thought was going to win until Dustin pulled that strategy out. But I had a fast car. Steve was fast. I got in front of him, and he kept within 3 to 7 tenths for I think we were like 20 laps. So I know that we both was very fast. I just hate how didn't stat how it unfolded, but I know he got the better end of the deal. But can't complain about a third place.
All right, Chris, man. Solid effort. Shout outs, thank yous, I love yous. Anything you'd like to say while you have the chance?
Yep, I want to say thank you to UKR and Turn 3 Racing Network for broadcasting. I know it's going to be a crazy one to watch. And shout out to all the drivers. I think we had one or two cautions, and that's pretty good for here. If you had been out here, you'd realize how slick these things were. Yeah, all the other drivers ran great races. Sorry for getting into Steve and Eric there. I closed in on Eric a lot faster than I thought I was even going to. So I want to apologize to him. I'll shoot him a message later. shout out to Troy and Damon for putting up with our butts and doing all this stuff. My rough teammates at Falcon Motorsports, Doug and all the guys. It was a fun race. I just wish I could have finished 2 spots better.
All right, man. Well, nice job out there tonight. We all wish we could win every one, but a solid effort by the 44 here tonight. So moving on into our post-race show, we'll walk you through the rest of our results. We got to talk to top 3 of our finishing drivers. Travis Smith with a good strategy call and end up in 4th place. Troy Radford going to round out your top 5. Then it's Mitchell Snare, Brian Littleton, Brian Miskell, Thomas Light, and Dustin Ping rounding out the top 10. Moving on from there, 11th place goes to Gordon Larson, Justin Walters 12th, 13th Damon Cox, Doug Wysocki 14th, 15th goes to Bruce Pearson, Brian Beach finishing 16th, 17th Derek Robinson, 18th Melvin Young, 19th place goes to Tim Woodson, Eric Blount 20th, 21st Dylan Blankenship, and Gary Ragland gonna finish in 22nd spot here tonight. Tim Lee taking a provisional on the night. So guys, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Dave Freeman, thank you very much for sticking with me here tonight. And guys, next week we're heading to North Wilkesboro for the Animal Rescue Site 140. I hope you all will join me for that one. So until then, have a good night, and y'all stay safe.